So am I your entertainment?
Hi, my name is Jill, and normally I say you're here at Road Culture Rules, where we talk about things road culture. But today it's more of the inner journey than the outer journey, because you know how I like to talk about that. A little bit of catch up with me, but more importantly, a great big idea. So before we launch into that, we're going to take a deep breath, hold for 4, exhale, and we're going to see you on the other side. I don't want to stand in the midst of all that is broken and shattered. I do want to stand beyond it, shining like a beacon so bright you just can't miss it. You can only choose to ignore it or wait to walk towards it. And if the best way to shine that light is to be your entertainment, I can do that.
I've been searching for my own destiny.
There's going to be music and editing. So like I said, I want to do something a little bit different today. One of the videos I posted this last week, it really wasn't about whether I'm going to continue to make videos on YouTube or not from a, oh gosh, I'm so frustrated. But that was just sort of like a little piece of the puzzle, but I'm fascinated that those are the kinds of things people kind of grab onto and comment about when they really weren't the point of the video. But it really has gotten me thinking quite a bit, as has my experience in the last week. And the question I really have come up with is, am I your entertainment? And the reason I'm asking that question is that after thinking about it, the answer is I'm okay with that if there's a bigger reason for me to do that with you.
One of the things that has just blown me away in the last year, because I've talked to lots of people.
This is my life, this is my hope, this is what I stand for. Now is the time to let it all out.
A large proportion of my audience has been young men, under 30, something like that. And I've spoken to them a lot about responsibility.
That just lights a fire in me, because I've been talking about that forever, but nobody really wants to talk about it because it's so, it's just not very fun. But what I've come to know, one of my complaints about the road culture community is that responsibility is freedom. It's not the escape from responsibility that gives you freedom. It's the willingness to dive into responsibility that actually creates real, just like on cue, real freedom. In the same way that diving into responsibility creates real love. And that is what I want to get to. And I get lost in my head. I get lost in a lot of intellectual ideas. And I don't know how to do the love part. That's part of where I'm struggling with, because I don't like being the entertainment. I'm uncomfortable having it be me focused, but at the same time, I'm so committed to being of benefit in the world, and I don't know how, but I know what I was talking about with the video isn't, should I do it because I'm not getting external rewards from YouTube or from viewers or that kind of thing. My struggle is that I have to commit to the process and dive right in. And here's a little fascinating piece of information. So this is not about me. This is for you to think about your life. I've talked about it before. Everything is a relationship. And so my relationship with the video medium itself, my relationship with YouTube, my relationship with you, those are all things that I'm still managing, negotiating, finding my way in. And one of the things in an oversharing moment is that when there's something that's difficult for me or I'm not sure about or I absolutely want to be involved in or I want very strongly, there's a lot of thrashing around that goes on, in, out, up, down, all over the place. That is just my way, for better or for worse. I kind of do a lot of thrashing around when I'm at the beginning of something.
What happens is, if I talk about responsibilities, everyone is silent, just like they are now. Silent and not moving, right? Focusing, attentive. Say, pick up your responsibility. Pick up the heaviest thing you can and carry it. And the room goes quiet and everybody's eyes open. And I think, that always makes me break up.
that. And so when I was talking about this idea of YouTube is, for me, it's really this struggle that I have, that almost everybody is on YouTube talking about themselves, just like having a conversation about themselves. And people are listening to it. And, you know, one of my complaints is that it's also very disorganized. It's just sort of random stream of thought talking out loud. And my question is that really helpful to you? And if it is, then I'm not opposed to doing that. But I prefer a more organized stream of thought, which you know. And that's really the theme of today, is responsibility. And the reason I'm talking about that is that I listened to a piece of a lecture by Jordan Peterson, who I do have mixed feelings about, but I really, really like this concept because
we've been fed this unending diet of rights and freedoms, and there's something about that, especially, there's something about that that's so pathologically wrong. And people are starving for the antidote, and the antidote is truth and responsibility, right? And it isn't because that's what you should do in some I know better or someone knows better for you what you should do sense. It's that's the secret to a meaningful life. And without a meaningful life, then all you have is suffering and nihilism and despair and all of that, and self-contempt, and that's not good. And so it's necessary for men to stand up and take responsibility, and they all know that and are starving for that message. And the message is more that that's also a good thing, to stand up and take responsibility, because
and scream out loud, this is my life, this is my hope, this is what I stand for.
My sense instead is that, if you were able to reveal the best of yourself to you in the world, that you would be an overwhelming force for good.
One of the biggest problems I see with what's really going on in the world is that everybody is so focused on what's wrong with everybody else. There's such an external focus about who should change and what system should change, and political change and economic change, and all this stuff that's supposed to happen out there. Which is why those channels are really popular, why that information is popular, because as long as it's happening out there, there is no personal responsibility. And that is what I'm hoping that you will take from these videos, is not me as a source of entertainment, but rather as a source to remind you that life is not entertainment. It's really about responsibility. And when you can grab that with both hands and be excited about what you can create with responsibility, marry that with love, that, my friends, is the secret to true freedom. But I'm going to say it once again. Freedom is responsibility. Love is responsibility. And
we are the young ones that fight for survival. We will watch you like
So that's my question. Am I your entertainment?
when you own that, I don't think there's any feeling that's more powerful than that awareness, that aha moment when you say, you know what, you're right. That's me. That's mine. I can do that. I don't have to be perfect. I don't have to do it by myself. I can do that. And I think that's why we see Jordan Peterson becoming so emotional about that idea. Because when you see that fire light in somebody's eyes where they get that, it makes everything worth it. Even if you're watching me just to be entertained. So before we go, we're going to do our traditional send-off here. We're going to take one more deep breath for the road, as I hope you will rise with the sun in your eyes, love in your heart, feet firmly on the ground, because I am really excited about our journey together on Survival Road, even though we can only do it one step at a time. So live free and die wild, my friend. I will see you next time.
It's
brand new day. I'm so glad you're here.